Ever since the 2020 election, it has been basically an article of faith that 2024 was pretty likely to be a rematch between President Biden and President Trump.
The question is, radical left. Will you shut up, man? Listen,
But there are signs that the bases of both presidents may be looking elsewhere as we inch closer to the 2024 campaign. Ever since 2020, Trump has in many ways been acting like a candidate.
Who knows? I may even decide to beat them for a third time, okay?
Advisors have told the Washington Post that Trump is eyeing a September announcement. Candidates do often announce very early for presidential campaigns, but they'll almost always wait until after a midterm election. There's no question that Trump remains very popular within the Republican Party, and any time a former president runs, you would expect them to have the inside track on the nomination. A New York Times poll showed around half of Republicans said that they wanted Trump to be their nominee. At the same time, we have seen some evidence that Trump could get a run for his money, particularly from Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. And we have seen evidence that certain high-profile members of the party are at least willing to endorse against Trump in some key 2022 primaries. One of the subplots of the January 6th committee hearings is whether it might tempt Republicans to try to turn the page on Trump in 2024.
Just like everyone else in our country, he is responsible for his own actions and his own choices.
Not necessarily completely disown him, but maybe decide to move forward with somebody else. While the percentage of Republicans who want Trump to run again in 2024 might be a little bit lower than some people realize, for President Biden, it's exceptionally low. The New York Times poll showed that just 26% of Democrats wanted him to run again, and 64% said that they would prefer their 2024 nominee to be somebody else. Biden has long insisted that he does intend to run in 2024, even though he'll be in his 80s.
My plan is to run for re-election. That's my expectation.
There have been concerns both in the broader Democratic Party and even among Biden loyalists about both his age and his ability to carry the party forward, given his declining approval ratings, which currently are among the lowest in history for a president entering his first midterm election. A review of history suggests that those numbers are very unusual, with the president's base almost always preferring that they would run again and be their party's nominee. The question from there is how much of an effort there will be within the party to try and push him out, maybe in the name of getting somebody who would be more popular on the ticket in 2024. At the same time, Biden has plenty of incentive to keep his hat in the ring and not suggest that he might bow out. A 2024 matchup between Biden and Trump would in some ways reflect what happened in 2016. In that election, only about 4 in 10 Americans had favorable opinions of both major party nominees, Trump and Hillary Clinton. The race wound up being decided by people who didn't like either of them, with those voters opting for Trump in large enough numbers to decide the race for him. And that New York Times poll reinforces the stakes of each of these men's decisions about whether to run in 2024.
I ran twice, I won twice, I did much better the second time than I did the first, believe it or not.
Because while Biden was among the most unpopular presidents at this juncture of his presidency, by virtue of Trump's unpopularity, Biden would still have a fighting chance, and perhaps that would be enough for him to try and give it a go in 2024. What's clear about 2024 is that plenty will depend upon the decisions that these two men make in the coming months.